I felt that the game kind of switched when Dallas brought in the big center that they have, the 6'7" woman. And then Natalie immediately went with Rupert, and Rupert hit like back-to-back threes or 2 threes in a short time frame. And I was like, oh, that was, that's perfect basketball strategy. The big is not able to get out. You have your stretch 5, boom, back in the game. And then from there, they took advantage of that. As you've watched Natalie this season, how would you grade sort of her strategy? Like, obviously, she's from an energy standpoint and from a I actually think she's great with the media, and I think she's kind of she has the possibility of becoming kind of like a Bay Area star just because of her personality. But from a strategy standpoint, how would you grade her so far this season?
I mean, I would probably give her like an A-. I mean, frankly, like, I don't know if that makes me biased. I kind of want to give her an A, but okay. I can understand, again, like all those offensive lulls. However, I like when people tell me that, like, say like, oh, come on, like, look how mediocre, or subpar at times this offense is. But I mean, again, like, make it make sense then, right? You can't just acknowledge that you think this is a very limited offensive personnel and then expect her to make magic. I don't know. So I would give her an A-. In terms of like her overall coaching philosophy. Like I said, for me from the start, I've always said, right, I want to see the types of looks that the Valkyries can create. And overall, the ones that are actually generated, right, from, actual plays, not just things like going off script, like, to me, they're impressive looks, a lot of, like I said, kind of, and even playing to the strengths of their players, right? Like, I mean, Janelle Salon definitely can continue to grow as a player, but they take advantage of her isolation skills, of Tip's isolation skills. I like that she kind of, some people say that Horns is outdated. I don't think it is, and she uses it really well. I like the double isolation sets, again, that she creates for her players to kind of put them, in a position to give two players, but in a position for one of them to pick who can actually attack the more favorable mismatch. That's kind of resulted in Janelle having a lot of cool hero shots.
Yeah.
Overall, in my opinion, I don't really find Natalie Nakase's coaching decisions to necessarily be inconsistent. I think earlier you referenced like kind of like, Kate Martin plays like 25, 30 minutes one night. She's a DNP the next. Like,
yeah, we were talking about this off air. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand like the optics of certain coaching decisions like that. However, like, I'm not saying it's necessarily right. I think, though, the rationale is what I'm trying to understand.
Right.
And in my opinion, the way I interpret it is, okay, so for example, that game against the Wings, I think she kind of thought like, okay, like, yeah, we have 12-player rosters and we're already down like, what, 2 players, right? KT and Monique Billings. But I mean, if you look at it, even like the best of the best, I'm not saying we're the best, but like the Lynx, the Liberty, when it comes down to it, like, if it's a must-win game or like, a game that they really want for like seeding purposes, Sandy Brondello, Cheryl Reeve, they'll just go with a 7-player rotation, right. Maybe 8. You know what I'm saying? Is like, I can understand you're like, hey, we're shorthanded. Let's play as like, let's maximize the full extent of our roster. I get that. But at the same time, I think players, you need more than like 2-minute stints to actually build up a rhythm. So I can understand Natalie saying, hey, let's just go with these 7 or 8 players. Because that way, like, they can actually play themselves into rhythm. And those 7 or 8 players are picked on who has the more favorable matchup. Because I agree, in the last one, I thought Cecilia Sandalicini had a more favorable matchup than, say, Kate Martin would. Mm-hmm. That's not to say, like, it was the right decision. I just say I understand it. So we'll see. Obviously, it's a result, like anything, professional sports, it's result-oriented. business. But I can at least respect that thought process. It's still to be determined, like, how effective it is. But as she said post game, and you reiterated 6 games and 10 nights,
Yeah, it's
right?
insane.
Like, yeah, like, I'm not sure that there was anything more beneficial to giving, like, Kate 5 minutes,
Right.
at the expense of taking minutes away from Carla and who had it going. No, I
Yeah,
don't
that
I don't
might
think
have
so.
been
Right?
Carla's best game. I thought she played very well.